Hello, Namaskar. This is Pooja and Rashmi from Divine Valley. Namaskar. Today we have a guest, Mr. Vijay Vali, and Rashmi can give his introduction.
So, Vijayji, welcome to Divine Valley program. And I just will give a brief introduction, but you can please add to that further. Vijay Valliji is a writer of many books to his credit, and he has done some short films as well on the history, and he's a linguist and a research scholar. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to discuss the topic with you further. Thank you.
Thank you very much and namaskar. Very good wishes to all of you, especially you, the organizers of this program. It has been a delight to participate in this program, and I feel myself honored. My work collection is under the name and title of Tithi Varmedito Divo. And then I have a research project which is a book on it is going to be soon to be published. It's under review by the authorities. It's Kashmir, Nagas and Kashmir. That's the topic I will try to deliberate on today.
Okay, yeah. So, Vijayji, please tell us about the Nagas and what is its relevance and why were you intrigued to find it?
You see that when we see the ancient world history, recorded history of the world, we come across some races, like they are Gauls, Mongols, Dravids.
Yes.
As far as Indian subcontinent is concerned, I am talking about them. And one of the main races of the subcontinent have is Nagas. Considered by folklore as the people who had the power to become serpents and again convert to human form. But when we see scientifically, Nagas were basically who worshipped deities of Nagas, of serpent. They were serpent, we should say snake worshippers, broadly. And Kashmir has very close connection with the Nagas because the Saptrishis, the 7 sages of Indian subcontinent, one of them is Kashyapa. He is called Prajapati. Prajapati, we call Brahma the Prajapati. Brahma, who is the originator of the world, which is still called as Nil Nag. It lies in the, I think, southeast of Kashmir, in the area of Yusmar, in the Pir Panchal regions. Yusmar is a meadow. Marg means meadow in Kashmiri. Basically in Persian, Marg is a Persian word. So Marg means a meadow, lush green meadow on the mountain. So there lies the Nilanaga. They say he dwelled there. The Brahma is called Prajapati. Praja means the people and Pati means their master or their originator who takes care of them. And it's just, if we say it simply, he is father figure of the human race. And he is called Prajapati Kashyapa. His son was Nila, the Naga. He was also a Naga. Basically, Nila was the ancient king of Kashmir. And it is mythologically said that he dwelled in a lake. Nagas, it seems, were very civilized. They were well educated and well civilized. They lived a civil life, like we should say, like we see in later golden period of the history. But the Pishachas were tribes, and human beings were not so. Human beings are also mentioned there, and the human beings may be taken as other tribes who lived on the periphery of Kashmir. But the Nagas refused. But the Kashyapa said that this valley is for everybody. So he made just an agreement was concluded between the Nagas and Pishachas and other people from Central Asia who were dwellers of Kashmir. But Naga's hand was always upper. They were civilized people and they were always held in high esteem. This is basically the Nagas were Aborigines. And it's believed that the Aborigines of Kashmir were Nagas. Because when the lake was dried up, the Nagas who lived naturally on the mountains and caves and the stees on the banks of the lake came down and settled in colonies in the valley of Kashmir, which is still being dwelled by the people.
So all
And
these
there
Nagas
are
were Kashmiri Pandits,
many.
basically, Vijayji. So all these Nagas we're talking
Yes, Kashmiri Pandits are Aborigines because they are the Aborigines of the. I should say here that the dress code, the ancient dress code, which our ladies, Kashmiri Pandit ladies wore, there was a taranga, a headgear, and a garment, a gown, heron, and there were very good golden ornaments, which are very unique, not used in India anywhere, but very, it was called atahur. It was an earrings where there was chains hanging from there. There were garlands and
So
all
are you
the
saying
ornaments
that
which we
Taranga
see
is
in
a
modern
symbol
day.
of, kind of Naga, or it looks like because it had a,
Yes. The headgear contained a white net cloth, which was started from middle of the skull and dropped down in the back. It had a very tapered tail. And
Yes. So
when
are you saying is that does that symbolize that?
it was symbol of the serpent. It was symbol of the serpent. Kashmiri being Nagas, it was a symbol that the symbol of the Naga who had hood on her head and the tail flinging down her waist. It was very long. While as it was made into a hood on the head, and the tail was tapered, the cloth was just roped, tied, and it was just a tail, just a Naga or a serpent on her.
So why did only females retain that? What was the symbol for men?
Men did not mention because they were Nagas were basically the rulers. They had their headgear, which the normally kings wore, and their gowns were like. And the ladies, which I am talking of, they wore the ornaments which normally the queens and princesses would wear. This was a normal feature for an average Kashmiri Pandit girl. And when she was married, she wore these, which was called Athuru and Dejhuru, which are basically the symbols, tantric symbols of goddess. They were chakras. We had chakras, the diagrams, the mystic diagrams.
Yeah, I have seen those generally Shatcon type.
Yes. They were Shatkonas and eight corners, two squares made together, or two triangles, one inverted and one. They were Shakti chakras, which we see just like a swastika of Jews or the star of Jews. It was a Shakti chakra.
So how is that relevant to Naga descendants?
Does that have any relevance, connection with the Nagas?
Is it only the headgear which has relevance?
Headgear was there because it symbolized their legacy.
Yes.
It symbolized their legacy of being Aborigines, the Nagas. Yes, basically, right. I'm talking of the things. The Nilamata Purana is the scripture which showed people how to perform their religious affinities. The Nagas I'm talking were prehistoric. Nagas had their own culture.
Yes.
Nagas did not follow outrightly the Vedic culture or the Hindu Dharma, which we see as we see today. They had
Yeah,
their
rest
own
of
tribal
India.
culture. They had their own, because it was evolution of the world. When the human being evoluted, their brain also started gradually coming up. And they started performing ceremonies. They made rules and regulations. They organized into a civil society. The civil society of Nagas was that prehistoric.
Kul Devta for all the Kashmiri Pandits. That's what.
Because
Yes, we
are
had our
descendants
Yeah,
from
Nagas.
there.
yeah.
Likewise, you can see in Jammu, in Himachal, or other places, we have Naga deities.
Yeah.
Every clan has his own Nag. Gaba Devta, there is Bhadrava, there is Vasuki
We have
Devta.
Kashmiri Pandits. Which one do we have as our own Nag?
We have Nagas. I said Ananta is the Nag. There is Vasuki Naga. There is
Ananta.
Naga.
So,
Every spring we considered to be a Naga. Because
I'm from
if you see,
Anantnag. Should I say then my deity is because I'm from there?
no. It depends upon your
I think they had
clan.
kept these names on
It's not
Anantnag,
geography.
Nag, Kukarnag, because that's why we have.
Yes,
They were their
they are
areas.
all Nags.
Same thing.
He
Yeah.
was Veer Nag.
Their
हम
Nag.
तो Veeri Nag कहते हैं
Very
because
Nag.
it has
Yeah.
things have changed, language have changed, everything has changed. It is Veer Nag.
Yeah, but Vijayji, tell me
Kashmiri,
one
when
thing.
we
We
say
thought
Veer Nag.
they are called Verina, Kokarnag because there have been different types of lakes or nags there or springs there. That's why I thought these places are called Kokarnag, Verinag because we know there is
Because there is one similarity. Kashmiri is called every spring a Nag.
Yes, yeah, that's why.
That's why.
Spring is called, but they say, the mythology says that Nagas dwelled in these springs. They were deities, they were devatas. Like
Yes, yeah.
you must have heard about the Vuller,
Yes,
which is the largest sweetwater lake of the world. Vuller is the word, it's derived from Sanskrit ulohol, churning, tormenting water, is ulahul. Is the Sanskrit nomenclature credited to it. But the Naga who dwells in the lake is called Mahapadma. He is Mahapadma Naga. And its ancient name in the scriptures is Mahapadam Saras. The Sar or the lake of Mahapadma. So it's called Mahapadma Saras. There are some more things which will
we would
ensure
like to
us
know,
that
like Pooja ji asked the question that how the different surnames which we wanted to relate. I think she might be
yes.
knowing.
Before that, I want to there are other things which point out that Kashmir was a Naga land. Bhagwan Tathagat, whom we called Buddha, his disciple Madhyantaka, he has come to Kashmir to convert Naga into the Buddhists. This is recorded in Buddhist scriptures.
Okay.
And many Naga Kashmiri people who were Nagas by race, like Nagarjuna, Kumar Jiva, they were proficient scholars who went to Sri Lanka, Java, Sumatra, Japan, and China and professed Buddhism here. Then there is the story of Narapura. It was in Bijbehara, where King Nara ruled. It is said that one Brahmin was married to a daughter of Sheshram Naga, which lies on the way to Amarnath, which we call Sheshnag now. They say that King Nara wanted to grab that Naga damsel from the Brahmin. And he complained to his father-in-law Sheshram Naga. And it is said that Narapura was rained with thunderbolts, rain, and showered with big boulders and stones. All the city was, along with king and all the people, perished. And in this catastrophe, the sister of Sheshram Naga, who was called Rana Rambha, we have an mountain stream under her name. It is called Raindara. It comes from Shapaya. So we have Naga literacy everywhere.